All right, we're getting ready to turn this thing out. Baby shower time. Get ready to open up them gifts. Hey, mama and daughter, get ready to do that thing. Go ahead, Tina. Go ahead, Kaya, mother and daughter. Hey.
I want the world to know that somebody took a blessing from all of us. And we will get justice. You just don't know how strong this family is together, how much we done lost. This will not be the last time you hear from us. We will get justice for you, Shakiya and Kyren. Kyren is her son's name. He was due to be born next week.
Shakiya, I love you, and I want you to know that we're gonna forever rep your name, and I want you to know that no matter what happens, we're gonna forever love you and take care of the kids. We're gonna take care of your kids.
They knew she was in the bed.
They knew she was in there. They knew where her bed was.
They knew she had kids there.
They knew everything. So this was a premeditated murder. She was a loving, sweet, caring person with a good heart, and somebody took the life of her.
The baby also didn't make it, so she passed away, and the baby passed away.
There's no reason why he should have been out to do this again. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's a tragedy, and we won't stop the fight.
What happened to her? It was calculated. It's still calculated. And there are people out there ready to excuse it, ready to call it a domestic dispute, like that softens anything. You have no idea. She didn't go looking for danger. She went to sleep. That's it. 9 months pregnant, 2 children beside her, in her own bed, in her own apartment. By sunrise, Shakiya Pridgen was gone. So was the son she was 2 weeks away from holding. Shakiya was from Charlotte, North Carolina, but she was building her life in DeKalb County, Georgia. 23 years old, mother of 2, days away from becoming a mother of 3. The kind of daughter her family described without needing to exaggerate a single word. Loving. Present. Doing everything right.
She was a loving, sweet, caring person with a good heart.
3 days before she died, her family threw her a baby shower. They picked a name for the son she was carrying. Kyren. Gifts were still stacked in the corner of her apartment when it happened.
Hey y'all, welcome to Kaya's virtual baby shower, baby. Kaya's about to tell you right now what she's fitting to do up in these parts.
So I let everyone be in participation in deciding baby's name. So everyone decided, I gave everyone 4 names to pick from. And they wrote them down, and we're going to put them in here, and we're going to pick the name.
Okay, so what you're saying is whatever name you pick is going to be the baby's name?
Yes.
You're going to pick one name?
Yes.
And who's going to pick it?
Hermione's going to pick one.
Hermione's going to pick it.
And since Cash is right here, I'm going to let him pick one, and then we're going to put those 2.
Oh, so it's going to be 2. All right, let's go. Drum roll. What, she got one. Okay, let's see what name Hermione. Let's see what name did Hermione pick for the new baby. What's that?
Kyren.
Kyren. Woo!
Baby Kyren.
Baby Kyren. Okay, now Cash.
Here's where this stops being a story about a woman building a future and becomes something else entirely. This case involves domestic violence and gun violence. If that's difficult for you, please take care while watching. If you're new here, subscribe to Crime Scene Hive. This case exposes exactly how a broken plea deal let a killer walk free, twice, and what it cost a family who never saw it coming. Like this video, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from, and share this with someone who needs to see how this really happened. Shakiya Pridgen was 23 years old and building a life she had worked hard to get to. She lived in DeKalb County, Georgia, at the Woods at Peppertree Apartments, in a place that was hers alone. Family members later told reporters this was her first apartment without a roommate, without a partner, without anyone else's name on the lease. She was raising 2 young children, a 1-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, and she was 9 months pregnant with a third. She had already chosen his name. Kyren. Pridgen was originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, and her family said that city never stopped being home. She grew up attending Yorkchester Middle School and remained connected to her faith community at ARP Church in Gastonia, just outside Charlotte. Even after relocating to Georgia, those roots stayed part of who she was. Her mother, Verdina Scott, later told reporters that Charlotte was where her daughter was born and where she became who she was. Scott lived in the same apartment complex as her daughter, a detail that would matter more than either of them could have known. Pridgen's father, Paco Pridgen, described her plainly and without exaggeration. He said she had her whole life ahead of her. She was raising her children. She had just moved into her own place. She wanted to get married and settle down. She attended church regularly. According to her father, she was doing everything a mother is supposed to do. Family members also said she had plans to attend nursing school, with hopes of one day working in a field where she could help other people. 3 days before her death, Pridgen's family gathered to celebrate her upcoming son. It was a baby shower, and not everyone could be there in person. Relatives joined a video call from 5 different states, taking part remotely as gifts were opened and the final decision was made on a name. They landed on Kyren. For Pridgen's family, it was a celebration of what was coming. A third child. A new name. A future they assumed they had time to plan for. They had no way of knowing that within 72 hours, everything about that future would be gone. It happened on Peppertree Circle in DeKalb County, Georgia, at an apartment complex called The Woods at Peppertree. The date was June 16, 2026, a Tuesday. According to DeKalb County Police, officers responded to a report of a person shot at approximately 5:15 in the morning. Family members and other reports place the shooting itself closer to 5:45, just before 6. Either way, it was still dark outside, and most of the complex was asleep. Investigators believe someone fired from outside the building, aiming directly at a bedroom window. Preliminary reports from 11 Alive place the number of rounds at approximately 11. Other outlets, including WSB-TV, described it as about a dozen shots. No final ballistics count has been released publicly. Inside that bedroom, Shakiya Pridgen was asleep with her 2 young children beside her, a 1-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. Both children were physically unharmed. Pridgen was hit multiple times. Her mother, Verdina Scott, lived in the same apartment complex. She heard the gunfire from her own home. She did not yet know it was her daughter's apartment. By the time she reached the scene, she found Pridgen unresponsive in the bed, bleeding from the stomach. Scott began performing CPR herself, continuing until first responders arrived.
They was beside her sleeping when I got to the apartment, but I want the world to know that somebody took a blessing from all of us.
She later told Fox 5 Atlanta that she heard her daughter's last breath, and that she prayed paramedics could revive her. DeKalb County Police arrived and found Pridgen suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. She was transported to a hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Her unborn son, Kyren, due in just 2 weeks, did not survive either. The DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office later confirmed her identity and stated that a full autopsy report could take up to 90 days to complete, and would not be released while the case remained under investigation. Investigators said no other injuries were reported at the scene. Preliminary findings indicated the shots came from outside the residence, consistent with an attack aimed specifically at the window of the room where Pridgen slept. Within hours, DeKalb County Police had a location. What they didn't yet have, publicly, was a name. That would not stay true for long. Within hours of the shooting, Shakiya Pridgen's family stood outside the Woods at Peppertree Apartments and spoke to reporters. It was raining. They didn't wait for police to release a statement, and they didn't soften what they believed had happened. Her father, Paco Pridgen, struggled to find words that captured the loss. He told reporters he didn't know what to do or where to go, that it felt like trying to wake up from a dream he couldn't escape.
I don't know what to do, where to go. It's like I want to wake up from a dream.
Yes. Yeah. This is a nightmare.
That I can't wake up from.
This is a nightmare.
Her mother, Verdina Scott, described her daughter in simple terms. She said Shakiya was a blessing, not just to their family, but to everyone who knew her.
She was a blessing to my family. She was a blessing to so many people. She was very well known, beautiful. She was a beautiful girl, beautiful inside and out.
But grief wasn't the only thing driving the family that morning. They also had a theory, and they said it plainly, without hedging. They didn't believe this was a random act of violence. They pointed to the precision of it. Whoever fired into that apartment knew which window belonged to Shakiya's bedroom. They knew where her bed was positioned inside that room. To the family, that wasn't something a stranger could have known. That kind of accuracy, they said, comes from familiarity, not chance.
I see that's the bedroom right there.
Yes.
So like, you think she was targeted in that bedroom?
She was targeted in that bedroom. She was sleeping with her 2 children in the bed with her. They made it.
And put it on record, this was a premeditated. Whoever did this aimed through the window. Took the time to let off 8 shots. You didn't bang, bang, and run. You sat there.
They knew she was in the bed.
They knew she was in there. They knew where her bed was.
They knew she had kids there.
They knew everything. So this was a
They knew she lived by
premeditated
herself.
murder.
This is where the case stopped looking like an isolated tragedy and started looking like something the family believed had a name attached to it. According to relatives who spoke with 11 Alive and other outlets, they believed the shooter was someone Shakiya had once been involved with. They identified him as Devin Anthony, 26 years old. Family members told reporters he was her ex-boyfriend, and that he was the father of the unborn son she had been carrying, the child they had named Kyren just days earlier at her baby shower. At the time the family made these statements, DeKalb County police had not yet released the name of a suspect publicly. There had been no arrest. No formal charges. What the family offered reporters that morning in the rain was their own account, based on what they knew of Shakiya's relationships and, in their words, a level of targeting that pointed towards someone close to her rather than a stranger. It would not take long for investigators to catch up to what the family had already said out loud. DeKalb County investigators moved quickly. In the hours following the shooting, detectives worked the scene at the Woods at Peppertree Apartments, gathering evidence, speaking with witnesses, and building a picture of who had access to that bedroom window and why. Investigators also brought in the United States Marshals Service to assist in locating a suspect, a common step when law enforcement believes a person may attempt to leave the area quickly. DeKalb County Sheriff Melody Maddox addressed the case publicly, framing the department's response in direct terms. She said that as sheriff, she considered it paramount to use her authority to ensure that her office worked tirelessly to apprehend dangerous individuals who threaten the safety of residents. She called the shooting an act of senseless violence that claimed the lives of a young mother and her unborn child, and said it had devastated both a family and a community. That urgency produced results fast. Less than 24 hours after the shooting, investigators located Devin Anthony at a residence in Riverdale, Georgia, roughly 20 miles from the scene. He was taken into custody without incident. Anthony, 26, was booked into the DeKalb County Jail and formally charged with malice murder, feticide, and aggravated assault with intent to murder. Feticide is not a charge most viewers will be familiar with, and it deserves explanation, because it's central to why prosecutors filed the case the way they did. Under Georgia law, feticide is the intentional killing of an unborn child by causing harm to the mother during the commission of certain violent crimes. It is treated as a distinct offense from the murder charge tied to the mother's death, meaning prosecutors are not just holding Anthony accountable for Shakiya Pridgen's death. They are separately charging him with the death of her unborn son, Kyren. Anthony was ordered held without bond at the DeKalb County Jail. At his first court appearance, a magistrate judge did not have the authority to set bond on charges of this severity. That decision was elevated to a superior court judge, and as of the most recent reporting, no bond has been granted. He remains in custody. Police have publicly confirmed the arrest, the charges, and the no bond status. What officials have not confirmed is any specific detail about a relationship between Anthony and Pridgen, or a motive. That part of the story, at this stage, still comes primarily from the family. This case is still active, and it is heading toward a courtroom. If you want to know what happens when it gets there, when a grand jury reviews this evidence and a trial date gets set, subscribing is the only way you'll see that update the moment we cover it. Right now, the investigation had a suspect, a location, and a set of charges. What it didn't have yet, publicly, was an explanation for how a man facing charges this serious had been free at all. In the days after Devin Anthony's arrest, court records surfaced that changed the entire framing of this case. This was not his first time facing a murder charge. In September of 2021, a Fulton County grand jury indicted Anthony for the shooting death of a 58-year-old man named Ronald Barner. Barner was killed in a southwest Atlanta neighborhood on Vail-Land Avenue, and police at the time said the motive appeared to be robbery. 2 suspects were identified in connection with the case, and Anthony was one of them. That case did not go to trial. In November of 2024, more than 3 years after the indictment, Anthony accepted a negotiated plea deal. The murder charge was reduced to voluntary manslaughter under Georgia's First Offender Act, a legal provision designed to give certain defendants a path to avoid a permanent conviction on their record if they complete their sentence without further violations. A judge sentenced him to 11 months to serve in prison, followed by 19 years and 1 month on probation. For a man who had been indicted on murder, 11 months behind bars was the practical outcome. That alone would be significant. What happened next made it worse. In February of 2026, court records show Anthony tested positive for THC while on probation. His probation was revoked for 60 days, and he was ordered to enroll in anger management classes within 30 days of his release. He served that short revocation period and was released again. By June, 4 months later, Shakiya Pridgen was dead. For Pridgen's family, this information did not surface until after her death. They had no idea, before June 16, that the man they suspected of killing their daughter had already been indicted for murder once before. They didn't know about the plea deal. They didn't know about the probation violation. They only learned all of it the way most of the public did, through court records pulled together in the aftermath. Verdina Scott addressed this directly. She said Anthony had gotten a second chance, and that Shakiya would never get one. She said he should not be allowed a third chance to do this to somebody else.
He got a second chance. Shakiya doesn't get a second chance. And he shouldn't be allowed a third to do this to somebody else. He shouldn't have never been let out.
This is where the case stops being only about one man's actions on one morning in June, and starts raising a harder question about the system that had already processed him once. A murder indictment became an 11-month sentence. A probation violation became a 60-day pause. And 4 months after his release, a pregnant woman and her unborn son were dead. Whether that outcome could have been prevented is not something this documentary can answer. But the timeline is not in dispute, and it is now part of the public record tied permanently to this case. Serenity Tate was 23 years old, and she was Shakiya Pridgen's cousin. On January 24, 2026, months before Pridgen's death, Tate arrived at a Charlotte hospital with life-threatening injuries. According to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, officers had launched a death investigation earlier that day at a home on Whistling Teal Drive, in northeast Charlotte, near the interchange of Interstate 85 and Interstate 485. Tate later died from her injuries, and the case was reclassified as a homicide. The next day, homicide detectives identified a suspect, 26-year-old Demontrez Breelove. Court and jail records show he was interviewed at CMPD's Law Enforcement Center, then taken into custody and charged with murder, along with a separate charge of obstructing justice. He was booked into the Mecklenburg County Jail and held without bond. According to reporting from Charlotte area outlets, Tate and Breelove were in a relationship, and Tate was a mother to a young daughter at the time of her death. For Shakiya Pridgen's family, this was not the first funeral they'd stood through in 6 months. Family members told WCNC Charlotte that both women, cousins who grew up in the same extended family, died at the hands of men who had once claimed to love them. Verdina Scott, Shakiya's mother, said the family felt lost, unsure of how to process losing 2 young women in their family to violence carried out by intimate partners within the same year.
Verdina says for their family, this pain isn't new. Back in January, they stood beside another grave, Shakiya's cousin, Serenity Tate. CMPD also confirmed her death derived from domestic violence.
We're lost. We don't know what we're going to do.
Pridgen also grew up in the Charlotte area, attending Yorkchester Middle and going to church in Gastonia. 2 cousins, 2 young women taken by 2 men who once claimed they loved them.
We are living in dangerous times, and it's the people that are close to us that will hurt us.
Now one family is forced to live through the same nightmare twice.
This is not a case where 2 unrelated tragedies happen to touch the same family by chance. It's a documented pattern, sitting inside one family, inside one calendar year. 1 cousin killed in Charlotte in January. 1 cousin killed in DeKalb County in June. 2 separate police departments. 2 separate men. The same underlying thread running through both. Cases like these rarely get covered side by side. They get treated as isolated headlines, disconnected from each other, easy to scroll past. If you want documentaries that connect the dots other channels miss, and follow the pattern instead of just the headline, subscribing to Crime Scalers is how you'll see it the next time this happens somewhere else. By June, Shakiya Pridgen's family had already lived through this once. They were about to live through it again. As of the most recent court records available, Devin Anthony remains in custody at the DeKalb County Jail, held without bond. A closer review of online court records shows his charges are more extensive than initially reported. Beyond malice murder and feticide, Anthony also faces 2 counts of aggravated assault, a charge of criminal damage to property, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. As of this recording, no trial date has been set, and the case has not yet been presented to a grand jury for indictment on these new charges. It remains an open, active investigation. Shakiya Pridgen's family has not stayed quiet while the case moves through the courts. They have used their public platform to call for changes to Georgia's First Offender Act, the same law that reduced Anthony's 2021 murder charge down to 11 months served. Their argument is straightforward. A law meant to give people a second chance should not have left a documented, indicted murder suspect free to kill again within a few years of his release. The 2 children Shakiya Pridgen leaves behind, her 1-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter, are now being raised by family. According to relatives, a GoFundMe has been established to help cover funeral costs and support the children going forward. Both were in the room when their mother was killed. Neither was physically harmed. This case is not over. There has been no trial, no plea, and no verdict. What exists right now is an arrest, a set of charges, and a family still waiting for a courtroom date that hasn't yet been scheduled. Cases like this one rarely resolve quickly, and when they do move forward, it often happens quietly, without headlines. If there's an update worth knowing, whether that's an indictment, a plea, or a trial date, we'll be the ones covering it. That's what this channel exists to do. For now, the story ends where the record currently stands. 2 lives lost, 1 man in custody, and a case still working its way toward whatever comes next.